around Deshaun Watson. So JJ, I think it's in his best interest to go to the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks they lost to Davion Clowney. They are last in pass rush pressures this season. They're able to score 50 points, but they're going to give up 49. They're having to win every game in the shootout, and that is because their defense is just not matching their offensive presence.
What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Dylan Matthews and
Symone. Jalen Mills is somebody that I get behind.
I'm not even going to cap on DeAndre Hopkins. He has the best hands in the league. Played through it.
Through it. Hobbling on back to the field.
Right. I'm saying, when you one of the best teams out there, you know, the other team's division ain't got no choice but to try and get like you. You dig?
So let's get right into the video.
Let's go.
What's up? Welcome to another great episode of Tough Calls with Symone.
Hey, your boy Dylan. Yeller.
So today, guys, rumor mill, you know what's up. It's time to talk some buzz on the streets. So, of course, you know, you're tuned into your favorite sports talk show. Of course, Tough Calls. I mean,
that's it.
Do we have any competition?
None. I mean, if you're not watching Tough Calls, then what are you watching? But if you're not watching a game, and then if you're not watching Tough Calls, you must be watching paint dry.
Right, you just must be watching grass grow because everything else is dry. So guys, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna have Dylan's channel in my description box, and he's gonna have my channel in his description box. So go ahead and help us reach these goals and stay tuned into your favorite sports shows. So go ahead and hit the notification bell. So today, guys, we're talking about JJ Watt and why we believe JJ Watt should become a Seattle Seahawk. Now, guys, JJ Watt, obviously the Houston Texans are just in shambles right now with the rest of the NFL, with everything that's going on with COVID. The whole NFL is in shambles. The guys, the Texans, y'all want to talk about the Falcons? The Texans are in shambles. They just got rid of their coach. They got rid of D-Hop. They got rid of Deshaun's only target in this past offseason. They got rid of D-Hop. They got rid of the coach. Now, guys, JJ Watt is just left there for what? They paid Deshaun Watson, who's obviously a young guy and somebody they can build this new franchise around. JJ Watt is 31 years old. He needs to be somewhere where he can just be the last piece a team needs to win. Mind you, the Houston Texans, they're paying him They're paying him $15 million this year. They're going to owe him $17 million next year. The Houston Texans have no cap space. They have no draft capital. They need to get rid of JJ. What are they keeping him for? Like I said, he's 31 years old. He's only getting older. It's not like they're going to build pieces around JJ. They're building pieces, obviously, I guess, if they're smart, around Deshaun Watson. So JJ, I think it's in his best interest to go to the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks they lost to Davion Clowney. They are last in pass rush pressures this season. They're able to score 50 points, but they're going to give up 49. They're having to win every game in the shootout, and that is because their defense is just not matching their offensive presence. Yes, they got Jamal Adams this past offseason, but they need to address that defensive line.
Exactly, because what Seattle is right now, they are undefeated, but what they're not that 2012 championship team. Why? Because yes, Russell is cooking, but they ain't got no defense to go along with it. Now, this is all fine and dandy, letting Russ cook and all that stuff. That's great. It is resulting in winning. But when you get in the playoffs, you know you're going to be going up against tougher competition. Teams that you might be beating now, they're going to be tougher in the playoffs because they're going to be more cohesive, because they don't have that full season under their belt. They're going to be playing better because obviously they're in the playoffs for a reason. And then their defenses are going to be better too, so you won't be able to score willy-nilly like you are now. So you're going to have to get a good defense, because you just can't be in shootouts when you're in the playoffs. In the playoffs, defense does really win championships. You might be able to get through a shootout in the first round, but it ain't going to work probably past that. So this is why it's a win-win situation for JJ Watt to go to the Seattle Seahawks. It's going to work out perfectly for the Seahawks for the reasons that you said. They're last in pressure rate, pass rush. Exactly. And then JJ Watt obviously probably wants to be on a winning team his last couple years in the league. And the Texans, like you said, are in rebuilding mode. So it's a win-win for these reasons. like you said, they dug themselves a hole. They ain't got no cap space, no draft capital, and JJ don't want to be on a bad team. They're a bad team. So if the Texans trade JJ Watt, they can make up two of those things. They can get some draft capital. They can get maybe some young pieces, or just get a whole bunch of picks, pile up on picks if they want, and then they feel better about doing right by their player JJ Watt, one of their favorite players, franchise players, and putting him on a good team. Let him go.
If you love something, let him go. It's just like a bad relationship. You say, "Oh, I just want to see you happy." They should just want to see JJ happy. This isn't a good situation for JJ, and honestly, they can't afford to pay JJ what they're paying him, knowing it's not going to lead to anything. And the Seattle Seahawks, like I mentioned, they having to win every game. A lot of their games came down to who had the ball last.
Exactly. And luckily Russ had the ball last. But that's going to tinker out. They need help on defense. The defense cannot be keeping their offense out on the field like that. And then when Seattle won, what did they have? Defense. The Legion of Boom. They had, and not only the Legion of Boom in the backfield, but you had Michael Bennett as a pass rusher. You had elite linebackers such as KJ Wright and Bobby Wagner. So come on now, they had a complete defense too. Russ was great as well. He wasn't as great as he was back then, but he didn't have to be because he had such an elite defense.
And imagine if the Seattle Seahawks been making little random moves this whole free agency, during the free agency time. So it wouldn't even be surprising to see them make this move. Do they have any pieces to give up though? Remember Jamal Adams, they basically had to put a lot of chips in.
That's true. They did give a lot up to get Jamal Adams. I'm pretty sure they gave up their first round pick this year, and I think for the next year as well. So that is a good point. Do they have anything to give that the Texans would want? Ooh, I'm not so sure.
Maybe they could give up 13, 12 picks.
All right, yeah, they give it 12 picks.
That might be the only thing left they had to get.
Right, exactly. They gave their whole right leg,
right.
Left arm, all that for Jamal Adams. But if they can somehow pull off a trade for JJ Watt, I think it would do a couple of things. Obviously, it would ramp up their defense, and I think also it'll kind of rejuvenate JJ Watt because we haven't heard a lot from him because he's been on a bad team, and I think that's kind of affecting his numbers. Listen to his numbers this season so far. He's played and started in all 5 games. He only has 2 sacks, 2 pass deflections, a fumble recovery, and 15 total tackles, 8 solo, 7 assisted, and 5 quarterback hits, and then 2 tackles for loss. Now, those are okay numbers, I guess, for your average pass rusher, but we're talking about J.J. Watt, who has a career 98 sacks. I mean, you've seen the numbers.
Is it because maybe he's not encouraged because he knows
exactly he's on a bad team?
Yeah, the coach just got fired.
They just got
rid of D-Hop. He just what the heck?
Your team busted like that. Whether you know it or not, that plays an effect on you. That has an effect on your morale and the team's morale overall. And if the team morale is bad and his morale is bad, then he's not going to play as well as we used to see J.J. Watt play at an elite level. So going to the Seahawks and jumping from a 1-win team to an undefeated team, that would change his whole energy. We might see that elite level J.J. Watt we've seen in the past. But like you said, do the Seahawks have anything to give? That's the major hurdle right there.
Yeah, we'll definitely see if the Seahawks have anything else to give. We'll definitely be interested to see the Seahawks could be making 2 moves. J.J. Watt is still a possibility, and then also Dan Quinn, maybe he might come back to Seattle. So it's 2 defensive moves that the Seattle Seahawks can make, and we're going to keep our eye and our ears to the streets in Seattle.
That's right.
And we're going to let you guys know whether. But when we were going down, dang, where should J.J. Watt go? The first team that came to both of our minds was Seattle. I know a lot of you guys, I know the Patriots, anytime there's anybody on the board, it's Patriots. Patriots. But depending on the response we get on this video, and I know you guys are going to jump in our comments and give us some more ideas, we'll definitely make some more videos off of that. So, you got anything else for that?
Wait. I got my ear to the streets. Did you hear that?
What?
This episode is over. Bye.